Howdy, and welcome to the Feed Bandit Podcast, where we have fun talking all things hunting, and in the process, do our best to support small and family-owned businesses in the hunting space. Here are your hosts and resident bandits, Jimmy Byrne and Richard Kinchlow. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit Podcast. Jimmy El Bandito here, and as always, I'm joined by the Corn Bandit, Richard. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you're staying dry over there at the Corn Bandit HQ.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, anytime it rains.
It's raining pretty hard over here. I don't know if the folks on the podcast will be able to hear the thunder and lightning, but it'll probably come through. But anyway, yeah, for just real quick, a couple of housekeeping items. For those of you who still haven't joined our email list, be sure to do that today. When you do, you'll get killer hunting deals delivered straight to your inbox. We've made it easy for you to join, and that is by texting the word bandit to 345-345. You don't want to miss out, so go ahead and push pause and join the hunt by texting the word bandit right now to 345-345. And if you have a product or service in the hunting space that you'd like to introduce to our listeners, drop us a line at the email address howdy@feedbandit.com, or you can go to feedbandit.com/promote and send us a message there. All right, so in this episode, we're honored to speak with Aaron Gilbreath. He is the founder and owner of Tank Blinds. I was especially drawn to your mission, Aaron, and what I saw that on the website as being, if you don't mind me reading it, at Tank Blinds, our mission is simple: build the toughest, most comfortable, and longest-lasting hunting blind on the market. That right there speaks to exactly, the products and services that we want to introduce to our listeners here on the Feed Bandit Podcast. So, welcome, Aaron,
yes, sir.
And thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, and glad to be here.
Great. Yeah, so really the first thing we like to do is just have you take a couple minutes, tell us about yourself and, how you got into building tank blinds.
Well, yeah, it was kind of an accident that it happened. I was in my last year of residency in anesthesia, and I just wanted to build a blind for my kids. I've got 4 kids, so I needed something that was big enough that I could fit them all into and still be comfortable. And, I've been hunting out of pop-up tents for years now, lean-tos, and, the tent blinds, they blow away or cows trample them. And I just needed something that was not going to get demolished by the elements.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to, I bought a used water tank that you couldn't stand up in. And a guy sold it to me. He was trying to make wine out of it. And Anyway, it was a clear plastic tank. Long story short, I made a deer blind out of it. It was a very first generation window system, and but it worked. I killed one of my biggest deer out of it that year. And then I had some buddies that were like, "Hey, build me one." So I found a manufacturer that made that model tank, and it was. Long story short, I had a lot of people, friends and buddies that pay me a little bit, just to make it. So it kind of became a hobby. And then once I realized there was more of a market for what I was doing, I had changed the window system halfway through it, and it made it, completely watertight, silent hinged windows that allowed you to keep all your windows shut and wait for something to show up. And then, obviously you keep your scent contained. It was watertight. But the only problem is you couldn't stand up in it. And it was either the tanks were 90-something inches tall, which is too big, and or they were too short. So, and plus the door was almost impossible. You almost had to melt the plastic to conform to a flat, basically a flat frame for a door. So I threw a blind up. I threw one of my water tank blinds on Craigslist. I wasn't going to sell it, but I just put a price out there, and this was October of 2000. Let's see, we're in 19 now, so it was October of 2000. 2017.
Okay.
No, yep, nope. Sorry, October 2016. And
Okay.
I had over like 200 calls for it that people, wanting to buy it. And so then I realized, all right, I'm going to invest in my own design, and I patented it, got it formed. It comes from a cast mold, and I would basically get them as a blank format tank. And what's nice about it is we can custom make any blind specific for each hunter, whether it's a bow window here or a rifle window on this side. And, there's no other blind company out there that offers that as their main line business.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I have, we got a lot to talk about on what you can possibly do on these blinds, but I'm actually curious about something you said right at the beginning. You said the first one you got from a guy who was trying to make wine out of it. Did it smell like wine when you're sitting in there?
No, his business failed. His business plan with making wine, it didn't smell wine. No, it was filled with water and just mold. It was terrible. Yeah. I had to wash it with soap, and because it was clear, I had to paint it inside, outside, and it was. I still have it at my lease. I still hunt out of it here and there. It still works, but it's not as watertight as you would hope, just because the way the windows were done. And I've changed all that. It was very first generation, but another problem was sealing the lid. Mm-hmm. Those water tanks have a manway on top that's kind of a hard plastic, like your ice chest, and they also have valve fittings on the sides that you have to seal up. Well, woodpeckers like those, and you find out that they'll peck a hole through it. Now, the polyethylene, which is what these tanks are made of, there's enough give to it that woodpeckers won't even touch it. It would vibrate their head, and there's no issue there. So that's what's nice about my design, is it's completely seamless. There's no drain. It's a perfect size as far as width. Like, you can stand up, you can draw a bow with 3 other people in the blind, you can move around, your kids can go with you, they can lay down, sleep. It's also 7 feet 7 inches in diameter, so you can lay down, put a cot in there. If I've got some customers that will hunt in their blind all weekend, and that was the only way they could convince their wife to buy one, is that they wouldn't have to buy a trailer or stay in a hotel. But yeah, so they're really spacious, and that was my big thing. Is I wanted a design that is a one-stop shop. So a one-size-fits-all. If you're hunting by yourself, there's plenty of room. If you take a couple kids or your wife or girlfriend or your dad or a couple buddies, there's plenty of room for leg room, and it's the right size. It's not too big. Some guys are like, oh, can I see every window sitting in the center of the blind? I'm like, absolutely. You don't have to sit there and roll, from one wall to the other to look out the blind. And being that it's round, you don't lose any floor space, so everything's usable. And
I like that aspect.
I mean, everybody. My plan was to make 50 a year and just be kind of a hobby. I was going to pay my student loans off from school, and it's just turned and blown up into a big business. And we're doing 300 to 400 blinds a year now. So in a matter of two and a half years.
Wow.
So,
no, that's awesome.
Hey, I've got a question for you, Aaron. What about one of the problems that we've got in the place that we hunt is, we're really set up for deer hunting, and we got, of course, the big tower stands and whatnot. Well, when it comes to turkey, we're either, you touched on it right at the beginning. We've either got to go out there with a little pop-up blind that's just going to get thrashed to hell, and you've lost, potentially upwards of $400 or $500 if you got one of the super fancy ones, or you're going to lose a couple of $100, and it just becomes a real pain. Yeah, how feasible is it to get a few of your tank blinds to deploy kind of temporarily for like turkey season? Do you have people doing that? Are they easy to move? Questions like that.
They are. So we can put the tank blind straight on the ground, and it's not going to rot or deteriorate from the soil. We mount the door 6 inches up off the ground too. So if you have any kind of standing water, it's not going to seep into the blind. But as far as mobility, we have several different models that, it's basically a metal platform that's 2 feet. We've got pipe skids, a full-length pipe skid model, and it's got tow hooks on the front and the back. And the total weight's about 700 pounds, easily maneuverable with a four-wheeler UTV truck, and they slide awesome. And so I've got one blind on my place that during gun season, I can pull it 100 yards away from the feeder. And then during turkey season, or if there's the turkey are in a different area, it's you just attach a rope or a tie strap and loop it through the hook, attach it to your truck, and you just pull it where it needs to go. And
that's nice. I like that. We've tried. We're kind of our group that hunts at our place. We've all got kids now, and we're obviously real big about getting them in the outdoors. And deer hunting is one thing up in the stand, and that's all and good. But turkey hunting, especially when you're out there, kind of running, gunning per se, it's tough to drag up, a 7-year-old girl along with you. So, to have the flexibility to move your blind to the feeder, that is fantastic, because I damn near broke my shoulder shooting my turkey gun, 3.5-inch, turkey mags, just aiming straight out of the blind. Of course, the gun wouldn't sit correctly, and I was still feeling that shot in June.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So I love the fact that you can move it. That is huge.
Oh, yeah. And we even have an easier access where we actually bolt it to a 6x10 trailer that you can hook up, and those are really easy to move. And and we're a custom shop. We do all kinds of one-off type platforms. We recently made a 4-foot tall model that had full-length pipe skids. They wanted to be a little bit more elevated than the 2-footer, but it's the same design and pulled great. The staircase was a little bit longer, and it's removable, so it's easy to take on and off. And we've done several wheelchair blinds, and we made one for a ranch that
awesome.
Takes disabled children and wounded veterans on the hunts. And it's got a 6-foot ramp, a 3-foot porch. It's got a metal plate ramp on the door, and the door is 34 inches wide and it's a wheelchair door. There's no lip on the bottom. And there's also a ramp inside the blind. And, I asked him, I said, hey, when he was ordering it, I was like, is there going to be somebody that can walk and open a door for every individual hunter that goes out? And he said, yes. So, they're able to push whoever up, the hunter up the ramp and get them on the porch and already have the door open. We did another one for an individual who was just going to be hunting by himself, who has one of those track chairs. I don't know if you've heard of those, but they look basically like Army tank tracks, on a wheelchair.
Yep.
And those are really cool. But he needed to be able to go up the ramp, get on the porch, then open the door, and then go inside. So we made the ramp 12 feet long, which is, I think, the ADA standard, and with handrails. And we made the porch 6 feet long so that he could get on the porch, open the door, and then go in, so he could be completely independent. So we did, we're a custom shop. We just, that's what we do. And there's no other blind company out there that specializes in doing that. We're a 4-man team. There's me. I've got 3 full-time guys, 2 welders, and a blind builder. And we hustle. I'm always doing ordering sales, and I used to do this in my garage with my lead guy. His name's Colton, and we were working out of my driveway in my garage up through October of 2017. And
well, that's great.
That was just about a year and a half ago.
It's a great success story there.
The city of Aledo told me that I couldn't operate a industrial business in my driveway any longer because Friday evening and Saturday morning we'd have truck and trailers from all the customers picking up, lying down my street, and my neighbors like, what kind of redneck moved in this neighborhood? So, I'm like, that's funny. But yeah, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you'd have done that in Dallas, they'd have locked you up and thrown away the key.
Oh, I'd still be in there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's can we jump into some of the customizations that you offer? I'm curious about the option for commercial grade spray foam insulation. Can you talk about the benefits of getting that, and kind of what the difference means? Like, let's say, I don't know, if we'll ever have another winter here, say in deep, December or something, and it's like single digits in the morning. I mean, what would having that mean to me versus not having that in an example like a situation like that?
Sure. Well, the spray foam, we use a closed cell spray foam, which is more dense. There's an open cell and a closed cell. They use both in attics, but the closed cell, we use 2 inches on the roof and 1 inch on the walls. And the benefit is just as good for the cold weather as it is for the hot weather.
Okay.
And, I get guys that are concerned about it getting hot. And I tell them, hey, it doesn't matter if you have a white car in the summertime in Texas with all the windows up, doors shut. It's going to be hot. An attic, a storage shed, any enclosed structure. That's just, if there's no AC unit on the wall, it's just going to be hot. So the spray foam is nice because once you open a few windows and let basically the temperature outside blow in for a little bit, within 5 to 10 minutes, that temperature acclimates, or the spray foam acclimates to that temperature and prevents the heat force from the roof from coming back in. And I was just hunting with my daughter, turkey hunting a couple of days ago, and it was about 88. And she got in there. She's 2.5. She got in there and started crying because it was so hot. Well, we opened 2 windows, and within a couple of minutes, she was fine. And we were, hunting, and it was very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some guys can get by. It doesn't get terribly cold here in Texas, but when it does, it's nice. Some guys run a little buddy heater in there. You got to be careful because there's no vent, and that's a design that I didn't want to vent because when you hunt and bow hunt, you don't want your scent getting out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just another way for bugs, water to get in down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's nice about our blind is they're completely sealed. You don't have to worry about yellow jackets, water getting in. They're element resistant. But back to the spray foam, I did some tests at my house because I had one in my backyard. And back when it was in the 20s, it was ice back in January. And I had a heater in there. It was an electric heater because I could run it from my extension cord.
Right.
And I got it up to 90 degrees. And there was still ice on the outside that wasn't melting.
Wow.
So it just showed you that, hey, this insulation is providing this much of a buffer. And then I turned the heater off, and every hour I checked to see what the temperature was inside, and it dropped 10 degrees an hour, which for being that cold, and it only took 10 minutes to get it that warm.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and
that's incredible.
After experiencing it, I wouldn't have my blind without the spray foam.
Yeah.
It's one of our more pricey options, but it's one of our more difficult features. We have to not only spray it, the tanks have to be molded a certain way on the inside to adhere the spray foam. Otherwise, if you just spray foam any polyethylene tank, it's going to pop off because there's thermal expansion and contraction. But ours, we use what Yeti uses in their ice chest. it bonds the spray foam on a molecular level. It never pops off. It expands and contracts with the tank. And we don't have any issue with, people are like, well, is this going to break my windows? Is this going to, break my door? And we've done all the groundwork. We've made all the mistakes. We've corrected everything. We've got it down packed where you would never know that the tank does that. But we also paint the roof. The spray foam comes out white, yellowish, and we got to paint the roof black, and then we still carpet it, whether you have spray foam or not, with a really nice thick carpet that no other blind company uses. They use that cheap indoor outdoor, and it's real flat. Our carpet's a nice thick house carpet, absorbs sound, and it's just a comfortable feature. Heck, my little 2 or 3 year old will lay down and sleep in the floor, without a mattress.
That's great. There's your proof right there.
Yeah, I know. I've got pictures of it, and that's probably that picture I took of my daughter laying next to a heater sleeping has probably sold me more blinds than any picture I've taken.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, and something else that you touched on that talking about kiddos, and that getting the kids involved. And we said it earlier, but we talk about literally on every one of these episodes we do, and everything we publish and. A published guy. I sound like I'm some sort of book dude, but all the work we do, we talk about trying to make it as comfortable as you can for the for the kiddos. And one of the things that will definitely keep the kids out of the blind are the flying vermin.
Yes.
The reason why you don't have any yellow jackets, Aaron, is because they're all where I am. Our blinds are home to. They're home to legions of them. I mean, I'm talking they make the Romans look like a small town. There's billions of them.
Well, it's become what a pastime, right? Yeah, to be like when we first go to the blinds for in October or whatever, we'll always text each other like, you got any friends?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's funny when it's freezing outside. And most of the guys that hunt with us are relatively hefty, pros and company included. We get inside that blind after a long, grueling 15-foot walk from the vehicle. We're huffing and puffing, and we start to warm up that blind. Those walls come alive, and they just start coming out of the woodwork. And my 7-year-old daughter has been stung 3 times already. Now she has managed to shake it off and still loves to come in the blinds, but that can be a game changer for some people. So I'm thinking that boy, if your blind is legitimately wasp proof, and I believe it just because of what I've been looking at, what I've been seeing, you're really onto something. I love it.
Oh yeah, and I tell customers that I'm like, hey, if you keep your door shut and your windows shut, it's a maintenance free design, and if you ever get a yellow jacket in there, but keeping all your windows and doors shut, I'll write you a check for $100. And I haven't had to write a check. It's my, yellow jacket guarantee. But, with having, you were talking about getting kids out there, and, my dad took me hunting, and we sat on a rock pile down in Mason County, in the hill country. And, we just sat down on rocks and hunted, and we called it the butt spot because there's a place you could sit on a rock and rest a rifle in front of you, and you had all the elements. But he couldn't take me till I shot my first deer when I was 10. I think he took me when I was 9. But I had my baby, my 6-month-old baby in the blind. Me and my wife in a baby car seat, and my wife shot the biggest buck with her crossbow. This was a year and a half ago. And you're able to get your kids out there at an early age, and they can, like, with your windows shut, they can talk to you, and deer 10, 20 yards away will not hear you. I mean, I've got video of me clapping in my blind with the windows shut, and I was there in bow season, and my blind's 20 yards from the feeder, and I had 6 to 8 deer not even look up.
Wow.
And I figured out how soundproof they were when my daughter, I took her, she was 3, 2.5, 3. I've got three daughters. My first daughter, I took her, and she's all about snacks. When we get in the blind,
Yeah.
It's where's the snacks? Where's the milk? Where's the candy?
Oh,
and
yeah.
So right about the time you can start seeing deer move around the feeder, we're sitting in my bow blind, and she chokes. And luckily all my windows are shut. God. But she goes into this coughing spasm, and not one deer looked up. I just knew my hunt was going to be busted. I was like, shh, don't.
Right.
I was trying to put a blanket over her face. You're going to ruin this whole hunt.
Right.
And I was completely shocked. I was like, wow, these blinds really do insulate the noise. And this was a blind that was not spray foamed. So even without the spray foam, they still hold their sound great. And, the wind wasn't blowing 40 miles an hour where they couldn't hear me. I mean, it was just dead still, perfect morning kind of deal. And, I've never been busted scent wise. They, they're airtight, and it doesn't matter if the wind changes directions during the middle of your hunt. Heck, I've had hunts where I didn't realize the wind changed directions, and I had one window open, and I've never been busted. But in that spot before, I had tent blinds and tripods, and I got busted many a times. And they're just, it's the ultimate. It's almost too easy, but with that, it makes it great for taking your kids hunting and just being more successful in the field.
Right. The other aspect of it that's very helpful that a lot of times I think maybe people don't think about too much is, the wind resistance due to the design. My family has some land in West Texas, and way out there, obviously you get some good winds on occasion. And
we're up in the Panhandle. So
okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we have a blind.
We've field tested all of ours is up there.
Oh, perfect then. I mean, then you know exactly what I'm going to say. I mean, we have several blinds out there, but we happen to have this one that is in the perfect spot, perfectly situated for the wind. And I mean, there's been numerous times where that thing has just been completely blown over, and it's about 6 feet off the ground, box blind, of course. So it's just
sure.
The wind's punching it, like a fist. And the straight line winds when they come through sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So something like this would be absolutely perfect in that spot, I think.
Yeah, and it would be. We did some physics math, and the wind shear force at 60 miles an hour it's sixfold less than the force would be on a rectangular or square blind of its size. And because of the dome, because the blind is completely round except for the door, it's just completely wind resistant. And one thing we noticed, and I've had box blinds in the past, and when it's real high winds, you almost can't even shoot because your stand is vibrating so bad.
Right, yeah, that's
true.
And everything is rattling, right?
The round design completely eliminates that. You can be in 30, 40 mile an hour wind and not really tell.
Wow.
So they've been through some rough storms. There was a blizzard up there a couple of Decembers ago, and it blew down 38% of the power poles in the county because there was a lot of ice.
Wow.
And then a true blizzard for 36 hours, and it was 60 to 80 mile an hour winds, and not one of our blinds moved. Everybody else in town at the cafe was like, "Oh, my feeder blew over, my blind blew over."
Yeah.
And ours didn't move one.
Wow.
Inch. So
what county, Aaron, or this?
Childress County.
What county is that in?
It was Childress and Collinsworth County.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Kind of north of Childress there. So.
Oh yeah. So my next question: do you guys have any mule deer there? Have you seen any? Have y'all hunted any?
I lease about 6 places, and
okay,
they're all with exception of one, they're all about 2 miles apart. And then we have one that's about 20, 30 miles away, and it has quite a few mule deer on it. It's
very cool.
West towards quail, but yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah,
it's about 50% muleys and 50% whitetail.
Oh, yeah, that's
Very
so
cool.
cool. I love it.
Where are y'all at?
Awesome. Well, we are the place that we hunt is kind of in the central Texas area.
Oh,
yeah, not too far from Dallas. Just enough on a Friday. Just enough on a Friday to get down without being too angry at traffic on 35 and all that kind of stuff. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, what else can you tell us about what people can get as far as in the customizations? Sure. Is there anything that we missed as far as that goes?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is window placement.
Okay.
Most guys are, most blinds that you buy are at a dealership, and what you see is what you get. And there's 4 or 5 models, different sizes and different types of windows. Well, it doesn't do any good if where you're setting it up, you need a bow window at out your 3 o'clock window.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're different, is we can custom put, place any size bow window or rifle window, crossbow window, wherever you need it. And we can do any combination of, rifle, bow. And I would say that's 60% of our business is doing rifle bow combos. And that's one of the big customization aspects of our blind, because we start with a template, and whatever you orders, we cut it to fit. We touched on the spray foam. We have folding bench rest tables that we came out with because a guy said he would buy 5 blinds from us if we could figure out a bench rest table, because he had a ranch, and he was taking customers that weren't really used to shooting rifles, and they're not holding steady enough and wounding animals, and anyway. So we figured out a way.
I'm actually looking at it. I think it's great.
That's
I'm actually looking at the picture, and it's funny because it's something that some of the blinds that we hunt out of, as long as you're a right-handed shooter, and you're on several of these pastures where we have these blinds, you've got that right-handed rest there, and it's really helped build a lot of confidence for the kiddos. At least that's kind of in our experience.
Well, and me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind using it. I'm not ashamed to say that that I.
Oh well, no, and
maintain my.
I'm not either. I mean, you can hold really steady on them, and we put it's got a metal leg that's welded that folds flush to the underside of the table, and then we'll fold flush to the wall, and then you can take that table off and put it on another window. So we've got that universal ability to one guy buy one table for his blind, and no matter what, he can move it to another window if the deer come out in a different area. And sometimes, I would say probably most popular is guys will get 2 tables, and they'll make a permanent one at the, going towards their feeder or food plot. And then they'll have another table that they can move around the blind. And those tables are stout. I mean, we put 400 pounds of corn on it, and, and we took pictures of it. It might be on the website, but they're extremely sturdy. And another thing that we came out with is these solar screens. We call them blackout solar screens because it really does black out the blind. It reduces 80% of sunlight through the windows. And, a big problem is in certain areas where high pressure of hunting, deer know these blinds, they see movement inside or silhouetting.
Sure.
They know. I mean, I've experienced it when I hunted around Cisco, and there was a lot of hunting, and I would have this doe that would come every time, and if she saw like a silhouette, she's gone.
Yeah.
So the solar screens are nice because they're all on resistant torque hinges. So wherever they're silent hinges. So you can actually have the solar screen. It's all inside. So the solar screen will fold against the glass window. And then you can open the solar screen, open the window, and then fold the solar screen back over the window opening. So that way you can still have the same benefit of blacking out the sun and the heat and preventing silhouetting, but you still get a breeze through the blind. If you're rifle hunting or you're really not worried too much about scent, if the wind's in your favor. And same way with the rifle windows, we do the same thing for the bow windows. The rifle windows solar screens hinge upwards, and the windows will hinge to the left or to the right. And then that allows you to fold the solar screen back over the window. But we have some with and without pictures of solar screens, and every customer that comes in the shop sees those and is like, holy smokes, that's legit. And it really does black out the blind.
You got to have them. I mean, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got kind of a hodgepodge, but the majority of them are the Atascosas. And we've had to kind of come up with kind of some unique ways using some hot glue gun, some heavy duty black fabric and some magnets to try to make it work. And then we end up forgetting them, or a mouse makes a little shawl out of them. So it's gosh.
Yeah, I've done the same thing with some camo netting. I used to have a fiberglass blind that was a Dillon, and I mean I shot some good deer out of it. It was a decent blind, and but we offer more custom options than anybody. So, and we kind of pride ourselves on coming up with new things. For example, we've got a portable air conditioner that will go in and actually, guys that are worried about being hot can take this portable air conditioner inside, and it's basically like an ice chest, and you put ice in it. It's got its own condenser on the inside of the lid, a 12-volt battery that's, in the lid of the ice chest. You can put your drinks in there and keep them cool. There's drink holders on top. It's got wheels, everything an ice chest has. But what's different is it pulls the air underneath the lid, and it hits the condenser coils just like your AC unit in your house. And whatever moisture it pulls out of the air, it drops back into the ice chest. So all of your moisture that you're breathing out into the blind, trying to keep your scent in with all the windows shut, it's all that moisture is being pulled in there, dropped in the ice chest, and it's kicking out cold air, like 40-degree difference, like better than your AC at your house. And we're talking a 45 square foot, tank blind that, probably, I don't know, it probably circulates all the air in a matter of 1 or 2 minutes. So we're excited about that feature.
That's going to freeze people out.
Yeah. I mean,
that's going to be great.
Hey, people don't have any excuse saying it's hot anymore.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say the early season Texas bow hunters, in Oklahoma, Louisiana, Florida, anywhere in the deep South.
Probably,
would absolutely love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yep.
And then we have all kinds of shelving that we can do, additional shelving. There's entry lights, there's bottle openers, there's lean-to wall gun rest. We have it'll basically have 2 notches that are sanded out that'll fit a barrel as big of a diameter as a 50 cal barrel or a shotgun. And we have a ceiling bow holder that will allow you to hang your bow with a nocked arrow and be hands-free. And,
that's cool.
Ready to shoot whenever. Because that was my biggest problem is I used to hunt in those little tent blinds, and you'd have your bow either laying on your legs, and if it's cold, that bow it'll penetrate through your clothes, or it's laying in the dirt, or you just have to figure out a way to keep it off the ground inside. But we
all you need to do is bring a cot, and you could live in there for the weekend.
You can.
Right.
Yeah, we're figuring out a little bathroom or something.
Or like a little hose or something, for the men folk. Something.
Oh man, there's all kinds of stuff, but
awesome.
I encourage customers to come by the shop or places where we have some blinds, model blinds out, and just take a look at them and figure out what window placement works best for them, what options are there. And we always have a model blind at the shop that has every single option we offer.
Awesome.
And that way you can pick and choose and see what works for you and what's in your budget. And the product itself sells itself. So I never pressure anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we write out quotes all day long, and we get a lot of returning customers that, you know, we wrote a quote 2, 3, 6 months ago, and it's just a really nice blind. We put nothing but quality parts into it, and you pay for what you get.
Right.
This is a blind that lasts. It's going to last 20, 30 years. I mean, this is a lifetime blind. And I tell guys, they're like, oh, should I put a window here or just take this window out? I'm kind of worried. I'm like, well, it's $150 to add a window over the 5 windows that come with it. And, you know, in the long run, is that going to make a difference for you?
Oh, right. I mean, if you amortize that $150 over even 10 years, I mean, big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And I understand some guys are doing their best just to save up for a base model blind.
Might as well do it.
Yeah, and there's people that do them up with every option. So it's you know, and we can add some features later, but it's kind of hard, you know, because the blind's out the lease. But
well, tell folks how they can go about ordering, and let them know where your shop is.
Yeah, so we're in Weatherford, Texas, just outside of Fort Worth. We're right on I-20. We're neighbors to United Rentals, and if you can find the Home Depot in Weatherford, you can find us. We're right on the service road on the south side. But the as far as ordering goes, we have some dealers that carry blinds. We have one in Granbury, Progressive Power Sports. We have some other dealers throughout the state, Lampasas, out by Cisco, and down in Houston. We're setting up a dealer down there. I think it's West Houston Archery Shop. It's a big archery shop. But if you really want to custom build your own blind, we recommend just come in the shop or calling me, and I still take all the sales calls. Okay. And I stay very busy on the phone. I still do anesthesia 2-3 days a week, so I'm in the OR till 2 or 3 o'clock, and I, you know, I'm working on getting somebody that can answer the phone and calls while I'm doing that. But like I said, I like to talk personally to every customer. We build a relationship with them, and we get exactly what they need. And if there's anything that goes wrong with it, we stand behind it. We have fixed a few things in the past, not anything major, but we stand behind. We have a warranty for them, and you know, if anything goes wrong, we fix it. And what's nice about that is, you know, I get guys that are saved in my phone that bought a blind 2 years ago, and just this happened this last weekend. And, you know, I save everybody's number with a name. That way, when they answer or when they call, I know who's calling. Mm-hmm. And I would say probably 30-40% of our business are returning customers because they have a new spot or a new lease or a new ranch that they bought. And that's you know, you're doing it right when your customers are coming back.
Right. So. Absolutely. Can you give the folks how they should contact you? Is it email or phone number?
Yeah, I have an email. It's Aaron, AARON, at tankblinds, TANKBLINDS.com. We've got the website. There's a way to contact through there. You can type out what you have questions about, and it goes to the email. Also have Facebook, Instagram, that you can search us and message us through there. And you can text me on my cell phone at 682-226-5559. That's 682-226-5559. And, you know, for now, I'm still able to handle it, and I prefer to talk to all the customers myself.
Okay.
So there's not many places you can still talk to the owner.
Right. No, that's
while he's
great.
at home doing dishes.
There you go. No, that's great. And I will put your contact information in the show notes, so everyone listening can check it out there, and they can easily get to your website, shoot you an email, or give you a call.
Sure. Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, Aaron, I really appreciate having you on the Feed Bandit podcast.
Yes, sir.
This is fun. I am definitely next time. Next time I make my trip out to my family's place. We're out in north of Sweetwater, so the way I usually get out there is, I go 20 and then I go 180, the whole way there. So I'm probably pretty close to where your shop is. As I head out there.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make a stop there and check in with you. I'll see some blinds and. Hell, maybe we'll load one in my truck. I don't know, but
well, man,
yeah. Are
don't
you
wait till August?
Right. Are you gonna be at any trade shows or anything where people can see you?
Yeah, so we'll be at the Hunters Extravaganza in Fort Worth,
okay,
San Antonio, and Houston this year.
Okay, great.
Last year we were just at Fort Worth. We didn't want to overextend ourselves, and this year our capacity is a little bit more. So. I had a lot of people mad, potential customers that were really upset that I wasn't going to Houston or San Antonio. So, and I decided, well, yeah, I guess we'll go. I don't want too many people upset.
There you go.
So those are the 3 trade shows we'll be at this year. It's the first 3 weekends in August. I believe Houston's first. Fort Worth is the second weekend in August, and then San Antonio will be the third. So
okay, great.
We'll be there, and we're actually going to be raffling off a blind.
Oh, nice.
And we're partnered with a charity here in Weatherford it's called the Pythian Home, Texas Pythian Home, and they're an orphanage, and they're not funded by the state. It's all private donations, and that's how they operate. And we actually foster one of the kids that lives there, so we're part-time foster parents. And all the proceeds that come from that blind will go to them. So we'll take that blind to all 3 shows. And we did it last year just for Fort Worth, and it was a big success. I mean, we raised several $1,000s for them, and it's just kind of a neat deal we do. So anyway, some guy won it who had said he never won anything in his entire life. So
I know that feeling.
That. Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe you should enter.
I know, absolutely. Well, I will. And I both will definitely be at least at the Fort Worth show. So we'll if I don't talk to you till then, I'm sure we will. We'll stay in touch. But we'll stop by and have a good chat there for sure. But yeah, again, just thanks for coming on the podcast. And, if there's anything we can do to help you guys out, please don't hesitate to let us know. We'd be more than happy to do that. And
all right,
Richard, I think his internet went out about 2 minutes ago. So he had to drop, but he texted me saying, thanks so much. So of course.
Yeah, the rain's starting to hit here too, so I appreciate it, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And tell Richard thank you as well.
I will. And you take care. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know what we can do to help you out.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Okay, everybody. That was Aaron Gilbreath, owner and founder of Tank Blinds. Really cool product there. Building the tank blinds, all the customizations that are possible. The wind resistance, no rodents, no wasps, scent tight, no leaks. I mean, the list goes on about the benefits and the customizations that you can put on that thing. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's huge to be able to be able to kind of design how you want it. I actually was on their website kind of when we were talking there, and it looks like it's pretty simple just to kind of pick out what you want. So they made the ordering process pretty easy too.
Yep. Yeah, so you heard from Aaron. You can shoot him an email or give him a call, and we'll have his contact information again. That'll be in the show notes page of this podcast. And if you're looking for a new blind, and you're like, I don't know which one I want, man, I tell you what, I'm leaning towards, putting some money into a good one that'll last a long time, something like this.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. But anyway,
I know a place where we could put one, but we'll talk about that.
Yes. I think I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But, Well, welcome back to the call. I don't know, folks, if you noticed, Corn Bandit here kind of went silent towards the end because, boy, it was raining tonight. And
well, truth be told, I was speechless. The whole thing, just
yeah. The internet does not play nice sometimes in storms like this. So
it angered the internet.
That's right. But we, you know what? But what did we do? We recorded an awesome podcast with an awesome and innovative product, and that's what we're here for, to get these things out in front of you guys, the listeners. So that's really it. Thank you again, Aaron, for coming on the podcast. Again, that was Aaron Gilbreath with Tank Blinds, tankblinds.com. Go check them out and get you one or several of them custom built for you today. Nothing else really going on here. I would just remind everybody out there, if you're not on our email list, you want to get on there, especially if you want to get killer hunting deals delivered to your inbox. Text the word bandit to 345-345, and that'll help you get on that list. With that, I got nothing else. You got anything else, Corn Bandit?
That is it for today, my friend.
Okay, awesome. I hope everyone, depending on when you're listening to this, is having a good turkey season so far. And keep it up, and we will talk to you guys later. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Feed Bandit podcast. If you want to find new and innovative hunting gear and service providers not typically offered through the traditional big box hunting stores, come on over and join the hunt at feedbandit.com/join. When you join, as a bonus, you'll get our entertaining free e-guide of unique hunting tips and tricks. And a reminder to all you small businesses, feed stores, gear inventors, or entrepreneurs in the hunting space, if you'd like to get more exposure to potential customers by being featured on the Feed Bandit podcast, please let us know. We'd love to discuss what we can do for you and your business. Go to feedbandit.com/promote. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, as it would really help us out. Go to feedbandit.com/iTunes. Thanks everyone for listening. Until next time, please remember to support your local feed store.